Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our WorkPoint webinar today. This webinar is organized together with WorkPoint, one of our valued partners, and it will take about less than an hour, in which we will show you WorkPoint 365 in combination with SharePoint and Teams, and actually how it makes your project management more smarter. Okay. Before we start though, there are a lot of viewers today that we have not met before with Access Orange, so I would like to take the opportunity to do a quick introduction about who is Access Orange and why are we organizing this webinar as well. I always say Access Orange, we are not really a typical IT company, but we try to be your partner in helping your organization work in a smarter way, work in a more efficient way, and especially having your teams and your departments collaborate in a more productive way. Okay. A little bit background information about our company. We currently have actually 4 locations. Our headquarters is in Hong Kong. You can see my background as well. We have an office as well in Singapore, where we serve our clients. We also have an office in the US, and this beginning of this year, we are opening also a branch office in Taiwan. Okay. We are a gold partner for Microsoft. That means that our team has a lot of expertise with Microsoft solutions, implementing Microsoft technology in organizations such as yours. But we also have, for example, a very close relationship with WorkPoint. We've been awarded New Development Partner of the Year, which we are very proud of. And I hope we can also extend that collaboration together with you as a customer adopting WorkPoint. We focus on 3 areas, and I'll keep it short. The first thing is all about collaboration. How can we make your team collaborate in a more efficient way? How can we really optimize your teamwork, especially nowadays when everybody's working from home? The second pillar is all about productivity. How can we make your organization, your business, or your operations more efficient? We can look at your ERP system. We can look at the way you handle documents, how you store information, and also how you analyze information in your BI systems, for example. And then the last pillar is cloud. We help a lot of organizations move their on-premise data to the cloud, Microsoft Azure, for example. Especially, like I said before, working from home. Nowadays, your data need to be accessible for everyone, even when they work from home. The technologies that we use, I show you a little bit. Office 365 is something that we really focus on. And within Office 365, we do a lot of implementations for Microsoft Teams and SharePoint. And those 2 are also part of the topic that we discussed today with WorkPoint, because WorkPoint works on top of SharePoint and on top of Teams, and actually helps you streamline the usage and the way that people organize their work in those tools. Okay. For productivity, we focus on PowerApps. App development, mobile app development. PowerApps is the new platform for Microsoft to very quickly build mobile solutions for your workforce. And I have a few examples later as well. We also focus on Power BI, which is the data analytics. A lot of companies have a lot of data in different systems. And with Power BI, it makes it much easier to get data out of systems and also combine data from different data sources. And then at last, we focus on Dynamics, which is the ERP system from Microsoft. For cloud, we focus on Microsoft Azure. We migrate a lot of on-premise to the cloud. We move backups to the cloud. We make sure that your data is safe and that also your mobile workforce, your people working from home, can also access that data securely within Microsoft Azure. Before COVID, I must say we did a lot of on-site training around Microsoft products. We always go to our customers and train their staff in how to use these modern tools, such as SharePoint and Teams and everything around, how to use that in your organization and how to make your people collaborate using those tools. Nowadays, we moved from the classroom trainings more to the online training. So our team is now doing a lot of online training using Microsoft Teams, for example, that we use it today as well. And at last, for the PowerApps, which I mentioned before, we also help organizations build quick and easy apps that their internal workforce can use to streamline their operations. For example, a claim form. A lot of organizations, if you visit the customer and you take a taxi, you need to claim that receipt. So we build apps where you as an employee can quickly make a photo of this, this receipt and file it for approval to the HR department. And those apps are highly customizable. We can fit them to your own business operations in your own workflow. A few reference cases, and that's where I close. You can see that we actually have a lot of different customers from different kind of business background. We have medical companies, we have financial, we have insurance. We have a lot of the different organizations from different sectors, and that also gives us a lot of benefits, because from every project that we do for every customer, we learn and we take that experience with us to the next project. So if we do a lot of projects in different business operations, we can really learn and help the next customer, that may be you, adopt even smarter ways for using Office 365 or Teams or WorkPoint. Yeah. So enough about Access Orange. I think today is really the focus for WorkPoint, and especially how WorkPoint can help you as an organization also work smarter in the solutions such as SharePoint and Teams. So today with me I have Hans and Asker from WorkPoint, who are going to help me doing a presentation about WorkPoint and what can it bring for you as a company. Okay, so Hans, if you can share your screen, then I will switch over to you.
Thank you, Ronald, and thank you everybody for taking the time. It's been a real pleasure. We are very excited to be here. My name is Hans Ulrik. I head up the channel management or the partner development program at WorkPoint, and I will be telling you a little bit about WorkPoint as a platform, which company we are, how we help and have helped our customers drive digital transformation in these times of cloud. And then finally, we will end up by showing you half an hour of demo with my colleague Asker, and taking any questions afterwards, please. The key takeaways from this presentation, which will last you about 10 to 15 minutes, is that WorkPoint is a platform that completes your Microsoft 365 strategy. So from a business point of view, we are 100% natively based on Microsoft. We have and align ourselves with the investments and the strategy that you have regarding Microsoft as a platform. We use and our customers and partners use the WorkPoint 365 platform to drive customers' digital transformation in terms of control, structure, governance, security, data. I will get to this in just a second, but it's about enabling you to actually enable this cloud platform a lot faster in terms of time to market, in terms of development apps and optimizing your organizations. I will touch upon a little bit about the benefits depending on where in the organization you are placed, if it's C-level, if it's user-based, or if it's from IT. Yes. WorkPoint is a Danish company based in Denmark. We have a couple of branches here in headquarters in Denmark. We have a small office in Ireland, Dublin. The company was founded in 1995 and as a consultant firm company for doing projects and integration. We then did the project or the product known as WorkPoint in 2007 and were some of the first movers in terms of moving to the cloud and created our platform, which was launched in 2014. And we have already managed to transform 94% of our customer base, which is now running in the WorkPoint Microsoft Cloud today. We are partner driven. We have premium partners like Access Orange, who we do a lot of cooperation with on the cases, on the projects, and are supporting them as best we can in terms of development and implementation guidance. Our focus areas in terms of customers are mid-sized to enterprise customers, and this is where we have our primary focus. We have a long background with Microsoft and working with them. We have gotten a lot of awards that we are, of course, very proud of. A lot of these is also to tell you that this is not a solution that has been spun up over the last couple of years. We have had decades of experience working not only with Microsoft, but also with SharePoint and Office 365. We have a lot of different customers, and as mentioned, we are not, today we're looking at project management as being one of the solutions that's based on the platform, but we are not a niche product management or project solution. We have a lot of different horizontal solutions, which I will show in just a second, but this actually is supposed to give you an idea that we actually have a broad verticalization of our solution due to the fact that we are a platform where out-of-the-box solutions and can be configured based on your own Microsoft tenant. Common for all our customers is that they have a Microsoft strategy. They have a need for governance and control and structure. They typically have a need for one to many business solutions. That could be, in this case, project management. That could also be contract management, legal, case management, HR solutions, and stuff like that. We are very document-centric, and it's our goal in life to support your business processes, because there's a lot of optimization when looking at optimizing using WorkPoint and the integrations, like Ronald said before, about, for example, integrating to building PowerApps on the Power Platform. So optimizing and automating the processes surrounding your business is where the real benefits starts to show. The products themselves are built up around a core. Like I said before, it's about governance, it's about control, it's about you actually having the control of your own solutions. It's about rights management. It's also about features like email journalization. It's about doing template libraries for example, for contracts or documents related to a specific project. Those can all be governed by the admins and to make sure that you are compliant all the way down to the smallest detail in your organization. The different business areas that we have our focus on is projects, contracts, and a lot of other business areas. But we have seen a lot of our customers building up to 25 different WorkPoint solutions within the organization to support, for example, their production or supply chain. The different work processes that we support, and this is quite key, is that this is not based in, your data is not based in our cloud somewhere. This is based in your own Microsoft tenant. So for storing documents relating to the contracts, we use your own SharePoint. So it's not about migrating your data. It's about actually supporting your strategy of using Microsoft and all the security and compliance that's already built in Microsoft. So we use a lot of what Microsoft does very well, and then we amplify and apply our own value proposition on top of the specific areas within your Office 365 suite that brings value. So for automation, we can use PowerApps and Flow, for instance. Power BI we use a lot for insights and reporting and dashboards. So as you're gonna see in the demo in just a little while, we use your own Power BI to actually give you insights and status on your projects, risk management, and other things. So the picture I would like to leave you with is the fact that you already have a strategy, or most of you have, regarding Microsoft 365. What we're actually applying here is a small middleware platform called WorkPoint 365, which then gives you the control, the governance, the structure, and the compliance that your organization, of course, is looking for. And then it's actually possible to build multiple solutions. So in this case, it might be project management, but when you look at, for example, HR, and they are looking for a solution, or you're looking for a case management system to support, for example, a whistleblower solution or anything like that, or etc., because a lot of this is all of this is customizable, so to meet whatever business needs you have. But it's very, very easy to spin up these solutions, and you don't have to maintain, which I'm going to get to in just a second, for IT or for the business, for each of these business areas, that you need to have a separate platform. You have to have separate compliance, separate structure, separate control. This is all done on your Microsoft tenant using WorkPoint 365. Then you can start and leverage the cloud investment that you have made and really start taking advantage of the Power Platform. You can start driving digital transformation and collaboration with Teams. We, of course, have training and services and SLA, but most importantly, we tie and integrate to pretty much all your third-party vendors and solutions from our open APIs. So if you want to integrate your ERP system or your CRM system or a customer database or an order system or billing system, this is actually possible to drive value to your users and, of course, to your business and customers. Our key pillars and where we typically see the work that we do and the value proposition that we have is the cloud journey. Ronald touched upon this, so moving from A to B, and of course being in a hybrid scenario for a long time to come, depending on your size. So there's a lot to be had there. Data and security is always top of mind, and it will be more and more in the years to come. So using that data that you have, for driving value in terms of insights and other integrations is key for us. Integrating to your third-party business layer on all your other business application is where some of the real value starts to show. And I know this is from experience. This is also something that is top of mind. Adoption and change management is always difficult. It's getting a lot more attention because it's about human beings. So I will get to, for example, the fact that your users are used to working in a Microsoft interface. And as you're going to see by the demo, we are natively based inside the products of SharePoint and Teams and Outlook and Office in general. So the users are used to working in Outlook, they're used to working in Teams, they're used to working in SharePoint. So the familiarities and therefore the user adoption is a lot faster than having to learn about a new UI. We typically support our partners in doing vision scopes, strategy, roadmaps, work packages. We have a lot of focus on cost out in terms of the platforms, but also the applications that is used, for example, from IT or from a user perspective, that they have to maintain, that the users have to relate to in order to do their work. So it's mostly about optimizing their day-to-day and empowering the specific individuals within your organization. From a C-level perspective, this when you're looking at your ROI on your Microsoft strategy, this is it's actually boosting that ROI and making it a lot better because you are able to build and support your organization and take full advantage of the cloud. Of course, also meeting the business needs for business solutions for each of your business units. In terms of the users, I touched upon the list before. It's about structure, of course. It's about ease of use, and it's about the familiarity of working within the Microsoft universe, which is very similar to what we do. IT, it's about leveraging the strategy from the business, of course, in terms of making it as much Microsoft as possible. It's less maintaining because, and governance is a lot easier because you don't have to maintain 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different platforms. This is only one which is already being governed by your IT in terms of Microsoft solutions. So the key takeaway here is that WorkPoint is not just a solution, it's a platform that completes your Microsoft 365 and helps you drive the digital transformation that I'm sure most of you have a strategy for. And of course, hopefully you saw the benefits depending on your role, where WorkPoint can be and Access Orange can be a value add going forward. So I will actually give the word to my colleague Asger Steffensen, who will take you through the demo. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for that, Hans Ulrik. Now, you've heard that we're actually going to show you the solution, which is correct. I'm now going to show you a live demo of a WorkPoint project management solution, and hopefully you can see how it all fits together with what have been told. So let me just sharing my screen. And I think you should all be able to see my screen. Now, what you're looking at here is a WorkPoint project management solution, pretty much as it comes out of the box. Those of you who are familiar with SharePoint will see there are clearly some SharePoint in the back, and that of course is because everything is based on that platform in terms of where we store the data, and we of course also using a lot of the SharePoint functionality, for example, for document management. Now let me just run you through quickly the overall interface. We have only a short time here, so what I'm going to show is only going to be a few high level points. If you're interested in learning more, I'm sure Roel and his team will be more than happy to set up a meeting to get more in depth. Now, on the solution here, you will see on the front page, you see a landing page, and as Hans Ulrik mentioned, we are deeply integrated into Microsoft Office. So, for example, these charts are based on the data in the project solution, but they are made with Power BI that also nicely integrates into both SharePoint and WorkPoint. Further down, I see a list of companies. To the right, I see a list of my projects. And you can see further here that we have recent documents. So some of these are WorkPoint web parts. Some of these are standard SharePoint web parts. You can mix and configure that to suit your specific needs. What is what is more important here, we have a list of projects, my projects, all projects, a portfolio view. I can also see a little icon up here that is not normal SharePoint. This is the WorkPoint home button, and this will show me my solution, which is built by 4 modules in this case. Now the modules can be linked in various ways, pretty free, as it's so it matches your work in your organization best possible. In this case, we've made a setup where I'm working with some companies. These would be my clients, my customers, and connected to them I have some contact persons, my main contacts in my customers, and under that I have also projects that we're doing for our customers. Projects can have transmittals connected as well, and you see the hierarchy how these are connected. There are other ways to do connections and relations in WorkPoint. This is a very obvious one that is very easy to navigate. So if I, for example, say I want to see a list of companies, I can click here, or if I want to see a list of contracts or projects, I will get views of various filtered views. So this is the way you can quickly navigate. To the right, you see some buttons. You will notice these are what we call My Tools. They will change depending on where you are in the system, and that's the whole idea with this is that you have we try to make it as easy as possible for the user to do the right thing. So most of the time, the user will see only buttons or actions that are relevant for the work the person is carrying out. So you will notice that these will change during the system. To the top right, there's a little widget here. This is the search feature, a global search feature where you can search in the modules of your system, switch between, for example, companies and projects. Starting searching will give me a hit. It will narrow down. I can also click here on the magnifying glass, and this will bring me to my global document search. So anything I'm searching here is names of files, it is text, it's everything in the content is indexed, and also metadata. I can quickly filter my search, so I see only, for example, documents, and show me that filter list instead. So I'm always able to search throughout the system from anywhere I am, and I can also access my favorites. If I have projects I'm working a lot with, I could add them to my favorites. Now, let me just go to have a look at for example, the project portfolio. So looking at that, I will give a list that will show me, okay, here are a number of projects and they're grouped in the various stages. Let's just see what's active here. On my active list, I'm this logged in as this user, Mr. Jesper Jensen, and I'm running carbon bearing project and annual development. So let's go down and dive into my project site. What I'm loading now is the project site for my project, and there's a lot of content here, as you can see. Starting from the top again, running you through this. First of all, I can see that I have moved down under the smooth running wheel bearing. This is a company, and I'm running the carbon bearing project for them. So here we have the navigation breadcrumbs. Under that, I have my project metadata. These are again fully customizable. You can have any metadata assigned to a project that you need. So it's a matter of how you base your project templates or whatever needs you have. One important thing is that we have a Teams URL. I'll get to that, but it shows you that we have connection to a team. Our Teams integration works the way that you can choose whether you want to have a team associated with a project anytime as soon as you create it, or whether you want to have it sometime during the process of running the project. Maybe you don't want to have a team until you get to the planning stage, as you see here, and then the team will automatically be created. It can also be a manual event where you, with a button here, as you can see, these have changed. You can click on a button and that will create a team at a given time that the user decides. So it's a fairly flexible integration as well, and can be fully controlled where you want to have the teams. As I said, the buttons have changed because now I'm working in a specific project, so I can create status report, I can create risks, I can add a project plan task, etc., etc. So there are a lot of things I can do here. As you can see to the left, we have navigation. Again, we have document management, document and email. Some of them are visible here. I have project management, I have task, my project plan, I have risk, change log, etc. Now the risks are a list simply sitting here, but those are visualized up here. So I have a very clear overview of my project risk, and I can see there are 2 risks in the critical area. So I'll just click here and have a look at what are they. So, okay, there's a bad risk here, and there's super supplier runs out. So this is traditional risk management where you can record your risk and choose who are responsible and what's the mitigation and all these things. But it's very visible for the project manager. Here are something I need to be aware of. Up here, I jumped just over the stage model. The stage model is also a very important thing in WorkPoint. It's available everywhere. In every module, you can set up stages. But of course, in project terms, it makes a lot of sense to have a stage model, your project model. Again, it's fully configurable. You can have it to fit exactly your choice of project model. This is just a fairly standard one where you go from idea to analysis, planning, etc. And right now we're in the active. It's red, so I can see something has happened here, and it seems that the deadline has been exceeded. So we're a bit behind schedule here, but I'm alerted to that as soon as I enter the scene. The stage model is also where you can build in a lot of business logic to make sure things are going smoothly and prevent from errors. For example, you can set up restrictions to change a stage if something is not right. Let's, for example, say that we have a rule that to go into from planning to active, you want to make sure that all tasks on the project has been completed. Tasks is, for example, viewed here, and we can see some of these are completed, but not all of them. So if we had that constraint that I was trying to move into active stage, I would simply be prevented from that. I get a little wizard and it'll tell me you cannot move because there are something wrong, and that is that you need to close your final tasks. You can also have the stages to initiate workflows based on Microsoft Power Automate or an Intex workflow or another third-party workflow can be triggered from, for example, the change of a stage. It can be triggered from several places, but this is one example. So you can build in a lot of business logic to your stage model and ensure that the users are actually doing the right thing at the right time. Now, one little quick demo here will show you how to create a document. The document management in WorkPoint is fairly advanced, and of course we use all the good stuff in SharePoint, but we also added some things to the mix. Behind the scenes, there is a central document template library. And whenever the user needs to create a document, we expect that there will be a template for it. He can, of course, create a document straight from blank Word, but usually it's best if we can manage it through templates, because then we know everything is right. So let me give you an example. I'm a project worker. I want to create a new document. I click the document button. I will get this little wizard. We work a lot with wizard. You'll see them in several places in the system. Now I need to give the document a name, so I will say January report on my title. I will then choose where to store the document. It defaults to the document library, but you could have multiple document libraries where you wanted to change around. So you can also choose to put it in a folder. There's a folder structure, or you can create a folder. I'll skip that for now. Just put it in the root directory. And then I will pick my template. So when I'm clicking here, I will get a list of templates. Now you can have 500 document templates in the system, but only the ones relating to working in a project will be shown now, because I'm working in the context of a project, so I have no need for other types of document templates. Again, this helps the user finish his tasks as quickly as possible and right as possible. So I'm just clicking on this project description, and I get a little preview here. I can see, okay, this is the template I'm after. Notice those small tags here. That means that we have set this template up to merge data from the project or from the company on top into the document. So moving on, I will click Save and Edit. This will open my Word application. I could also use Word Online. I prefer Word myself, or I could simply close, just save the document if I know it's there. I don't want to work on it right now. For now, I want to open it. So now the system is taking the data, merging it into the system, and saving a copy of the of the document. And as you can see, it had merged the project number, the project title, the company that we're running it for, and so on and so forth. So everything on the project side and above, I can merge into my my Word document, saving me a lot of time. You will notice that, down here on the documents, I will have a January report just created, newly just created. So this is a very simple and quick way to create a proper document in your solution. Now, what about emails? Of course, you can also have emails, and you can also use templates to generate emails, but usually you would like to work in your Outlook for that. So let's just skip to the Outlook. And now I'm in my Outlook, and what you see here is what we call the WorkPoint Express. So we have WorkPoint Express as a plugin into both Word, into Outlook, into Excel, into PowerPoint, and this makes it possible for me to access all of my projects. Now, I want to find my carbon bearing project. So I'll search for that, and it's loading here. And I can see also here, I have my January report. This is just another interface. I can do all the same things that I can do in my browser, but I can work straight in my office environment. Makes it good for users, because users like to work in the office, and it's also helping breaking down those typical barriers or resistance to change that we all see. I could in fact have created my documents from in here as well. Create document from template. That'll give me exactly the same the same wizard as I just went through to create a document here as well. But now we went to email. So let's just click my email list. Here's my list of emails, and let's assume that I have received a document, a mail with the document. So now I can choose to take this whole email, including all the attachment, and just drag and drop it. And now I'm saving it on my project. I could also have chosen just to pull out one of the documents and drag them to the document list. That's just as possible. So it's a matter of what is relevant in this case. But as you can see, I have now my my journalized my email in my WorkPoint solution. So this is how you can quickly and easy use Outlook, your Word, your Excel to find your project information. Finally, if you can see time is running, so let me just jump back to our Teams environment. Now I want to go to my team of this project. So clicking here will just send me to Teams. Now I will use the web application because I'm logged in with a demo user, but it might work. It will work just as well in the Teams app, of course. I'm now loading my Teams, and as you can see, I'm just hitting the carbon bearing projects, and here's a general. So let's just go to one of the tabs. You can see there are multiple tabs here, and they're something with WorkPoint 365. So just starting with the project home, this will show me exactly where it just came from. So if I want to have the quick overview, if I want to create more documents, if I want to do active stuff in here, I can do this straight from my Teams. I don't have to work from the browser. I could go and have a look at the document list, for example. So go looking at the document list, and here we see, of course, also the January report that was just created. Emails, the same thing. I can see the WorkPoint, the people, the project team, or I can see, for example, just the change log of the project. So this is what's been recorded in terms of changes. This is just a list that comes from the project itself. So I could find it, I can work with it straight in my Teams to access all of my project. We are coming out this quarter with a complete Teams app where you have your full WorkPoint experience built into the Teams app. It is just being released, I think, in February. Not going to show you that now. That'll be a webinar for later. I think this would be it for my part. So I'll switch over to Roald again for the final comments.
Yeah, thank you, Asger. We had a few questions coming in, and I saw Hans already replied on chat, but maybe it's also good to show here. The first question was whether WorkPoint was available in the Chinese language, and Hans said not today, but we are looking at in the future. Maybe you can have some give some comments on that, Asker?
Unfortunately, not much more than that. Yes, it's certainly something we are looking into. It is we are basing WorkPoint on the full Microsoft. So all that is supported by Microsoft in terms of language, we can also support. It's a matter of course taking the steps with getting the translation and getting that done. So when there is room for it, there will certainly be an option.
Okay. The other question was, can guest users outside our company also be invited to use WorkPoint on our SharePoints?
Yes, they can. We have what we call full users and limited users, and both types of users can access WorkPoint. And it's a matter of what you as a user decides what should they be able to access. Limited users will only have a little bit of WorkPoint functionality, but can still use all the SharePoint features and access the information. Typically that's used for external collaborators that only need to have a quick view on things. And then we have, of course, the full users that can have access to anything that you give them access to. Again, every access is governed by our security model, which is, of course, based on Azure AD. But we have added some features to it, so it's very detailed what you can access. You can provide access and manage access down to individual documents for any user. So it's fairly advanced.
Yeah, very good. And the last question that came in is, what's the average time for a typical WorkPoint implementation? Does it take a week? Does it take months?
That is, of course, a question like how long is a piece of string? It depends a lot on your requirements. But I can tell you that the solution I have been showing you here is a standard out-of-the-box solution. It can be installed in a few days and customized in a few days to suit your needs. So you can go as far down as a week if you have very strict and scoped and well-defined requirements. And of course, you can also stretch it out for a longer time if you need to run workshops to make sure everybody's in agreement on how should the system run. But what the approach we usually recommend is to start out with a standard setup, because that will get you going. And there is no restriction in terms of customizing and adapting to your needs down the road when you have clear view on how do we need to do this. So a good way is to start with a standard and get it running, get users familiar with it. We also know that when users start working in the solution, they will get ideas about, we had this issue all the time, and now we can suddenly see how we can solve this. We just need to get the system adapted to that. But it's typically it would be with well-defined requirements, it's weeks rather than months. Okay, understand. And training is also an important part for that, I assume. Naturally, you would like to have your users trained, and that would be that is if users don't know how to use a system, then they won't do it. But I hope you could see from this that it's fairly easy to navigate in, and especially the ability to work straight in the Office applications is something that quickly get users up and running. We do have, of course, online training facilities as well, but I'm sure that Access Orange also have a very good training capacity in that respect. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, thank you very much, both of you. I think it was a very fruitful presentation with hopefully some new insights also for the viewers. I wanted to mention that if somebody is interested in WorkPoint or wants to know more about how to implement it in your organization, do send us an email. You can see the email address on the screen, info@accessorange.com, or go to our website, fill in the contact form. That's also fine. But thank you for presenting, Hans and Asker. Hopefully see you in another WorkPoint webinar, maybe later this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.